Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Open Cluster Management meeting. Today is May 12th, 2026. It's office hours today. Just want to give a status update on OCM, IO, as well as any question that the community have. So, regarding the V1.3 release, I think we're good to go. All the PRs have been merged. I mean, the actual code PRs, such as cluster admin, OCM, OCM SCK. So thank you all for that work. The only thing remaining is just the website updates, right? And I'm gonna correlate. I mean, I'm gonna collab with Qzheng on that when he wants to actually make the website merge the website PR that I created, and that's when we officially announce, hey, 1.3 is released. But otherwise, all the work is completed. And once again, thank you all. That was a great release. Any question regarding the 1.3 release?
Hey Mike, I have a question. So the main OCMIO has version 1.3, but there are some Helm charts that go with it. Like for example, cluster proxy, um, main service account, those kind of things, they have version as well. Um, do they have to be upgraded to version 1.3 as well?
No, they if you check their version, um, most of these sub projects actually have different version schemes. So they don't have to update to the latest version unless we absolutely need to do so because we there's some dependency or we want to bring it up to the latest work. What the cluster admin tool does is it always install the latest version of whatever the add-on that you're talking about, like cluster proxy managed service account. So if there's a so it automatically picks it up, and we don't have to update the cluster admin tool. But yes, the version themselves are not in sync, so we can go ahead with the 1.3 even without bringing the other add-ons to the same version scheme.
Okay, thank you.
But it is a good idea that someone mentioned the multi-cluster control plane needs a release. We do that, on a periodic time when we are a little bit more organized, I guess, because we do want to get those released out, and then automatically, like I said, cluster admin will install the latest version, so everything should be okay. Any other question regarding the 1.3 release? Okay, I want to focus on today's talk on a specific issue. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this particular issue is something that myself and another member of the community, Kahil, that have been discussing. Um, I hope you're all quite familiar with the cluster permission and the managed service account resources. Those particular resources are created in the managed cluster namespace. So when they're created in the managed cluster namespace, the agent on the spoke side sees them and then they do something with it. But that's the problem at the beginning, right? You'll have to manually create or write a custom controller to do that managed service account creation in each managed cluster namespace. And I feel like this is the same issue that we have in a few places like cluster permission as well. I mentioned MSA and maybe other places as well. So we're kind of looking when Kahil brought it up to me, and then he's like, okay, we have to create a hub controller just so we can propagate these managed service account into the hub managed cluster namespace? Like, can we have something generic or some enhancements that we can do to handle it? Like, can we have a new API that kind of like what this community member is talking about? You have the placement reference, and then it kind of replaces the using a template. It kind of replaces the namespace fields with the placement results. And then that way, we don't have to create a custom controller every time we want to create some OCM specific resources into managed clusters namespaces. So, what do you guys think about this topic? Have you encountered this problem before, and how did you get around it? And do you think we can go with some kind of generic solution here? Is this someone waiting in the chat or no?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I just need a little more time to understand what the problem is actually. So
Okay,
I'm just going to that issue to see the description of the problem first.
okay, yeah, I can give a actual concrete example.
That would be great. Yep.
Yeah, let's say you want a managed service managed service account resource automatically created when you have a cluster that is newly registered to OCM. So how would you do that right now, right? Or not just managed service account, but also cluster permission. So when there's a new cluster that's registered, there's nothing that says, oh, create MSA in this uh, newly created managed cluster namespace. And it's not possible to find that unless you write some kind of controller, right? And your controller will either watches a placement or you watches the managed cluster. When a new managed cluster comes online, it shows up on a placement list, or you watch the managed cluster directly, and then you know, oh, now the managed cluster namespace exists. I'm gonna create the managed service account or the cluster permission in that particular namespace. But then,
I'm
yep.
wondering if policy can help that. So policy has a way of dealing with placement, and also policy has a way of templating the resources. So I'm just wondering if we need a separate controller for that, or can we just leverage what a policy can do?
So yeah, in the past, we actually recommended the policy.
Yeah,
So the policy can essentially you're looking at the local cluster, and then you're looking at placing the stuff into a local cluster. You have the template on the namespace, and then you evaluate the decision. So that works, but it's a little bit hacky
hmm,
because you really don't need the whole policy framework in some cases, right? And OCMIO is about modularity. When you
hmm,
install the policy, you kind of expect it to work on the spoke kind of level, but not on the hub cluster level.
I see.
So we're just trying to get something that is more upfront, more obvious, and maybe it has to do with the RBAC as well. Instead of giving all the permission to policy, maybe in I don't know what the solution we're going for is, but in this enhancement, maybe there's more restricted RBAC so that we can control what resources lands on those critical namespaces, right? Like because they are in the the managed cluster namespace where the spoke agent have access to, or possibly have access to. So yes, the policy has, we can mention the policy. So maybe that's a good mission policy. I'll put that here as a note. But do you sort of understand what the ask is? Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that.
And Mike, I don't know if I know enough to understand either, but this is about getting resources created in the managed cluster namespace on the hub itself.
Yep, exactly.
Right. And so they're not necessarily managed service account. That's just an example. It could be any other resources.
Yeah, they're mostly on the resources that you kind of expect it to do something when they land on managed service account. Kind of, I mean, land on the managed cluster namespace. So kind
Right.
of like the MSA I mentioned, cluster permission again. So yeah, it's not really about that, but it kind of is because you wouldn't place resources that don't do anything. Like it has to be some it has to be some OCM type of resources, I feel like.
And the proposal to use placement, does that mean you'd have to match the placement to your, I guess that part I don't know if I fully understand.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about that. We have the are you guys familiar with the manifest work replica set? So manifest work is another of these API, right? Manifest work by itself only works in the managed cluster namespace. And then what manifest work replica set is, it evaluate the placements, the reference defined inside the manifest work replica set, and then just create the manifest work on the managed cluster namespace. So that essentially is kind of the inspiration of this placement reference. I think the community users see, hey, we kind of need something like that. Something that evaluates a placement and then just puts stuff into the placement's decisions, whatever the results is in those managed cluster namespace. Does that answer your question regarding placement reference?
Yeah, I think so. I guess I didn't understand that. So the idea is, they make up, they would already use placement to deploy something to the managed cluster. And now I know I also want to deploy these resources that I need to manage my managed cluster. So it could use the same placement or something like that.
Yeah, the same placement, or you create a new placement.
Right.
Doesn't matter. The placement is just for selecting the managed cluster, like a subset of managed cluster or all the managed clusters.
Right. Okay.
Because otherwise you'll have to define it. You have to list it. Hey, these are the place that I want, and then the placement also gives that dynamic evaluation, right? When the cluster comes on and off, maybe you want to do things differently, like what I mentioned earlier. When a cluster is registered to OCM, it'll automatically show up on the placement list, and then if we have something like this, it'll automatically place the cluster permission or managed service account into the respective namespaces.
Right. I think that makes sense. The part that confused me was that this doesn't actually end up on the managed cluster itself, but the placement mechanism, that makes sense. It's the same idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that what you mentioned, that confusion is what the whole argument was sort of about, right? Like these stuff don't actually lands in the managed cluster. These stuff are created in the managed cluster namespace. So how do we create a good design about that. So that's actually a good point. Okay. I feel like we can ask because this demand is driven by the community. I feel like we can ask the community to maybe draft some kind of enhancement if you all think this is a good idea and has some valid scenarios. Maybe clarify the use case a bit, and then we can go from there. What do y'all think?
Sounds good to me. Do we have any concerns with security and that sort of thing? Who's allowed to
Yeah,
create these?
I keep thinking about managed service account, um, and automatically creating it as a new clusters get added to the hub. Um, Basically allows the hub essential access to all the clusters. So I keep thinking about like whether it's desirable to have that type of automatic service account propagation. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's any security concern around that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. So it even if we don't have this, and if someone wants to do that, it doesn't stop them from doing it, right? They will just write another controller or use some another tooling to do it. But you're right. We have to tell the user, hey, using this API, you have to be careful, be mindful of that type of effect, cascading effect.
Mhm. And oh yeah, we don't have that. Okay. I thought about multi-class oral assignment, but we don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, this problem, like, I think I review a few DDRs. We're always coming back to we need something like this, something templating like this. So I don't think this is the first time we've seen this issue, and I feel like this is something that we can enhance and probably benefit downstream products and consumers. Uh, okay. I want to save some space I mean, leave some time for Yasuaki-san. But let me wrap up this conversation first. Any other thoughts and comments on this? I'm not gonna comment like this. I'll fix up this comment before I post it. Any other thoughts and comments?
Yes, I
Yep, go ahead.
sorry, I'm interested in OCM, but I'm in home use only. But I stranger English, so I want to today I want to listen only, please.
Yep. We
Okay.
welcome you to the community. If you have any questions, feel free to ask here or in the GitHub issue. Is there a question that you have? It's okay if if you don't or you have, like you can ask. You can type it. You can type it in chat if you want to Google translate something, and then we can answer you. And we also have the Slack channel as well. I'm not sure if you have joined our Slack channel. Like there you can ask any question you want as well. And then if you need an invite to have access to the that Slack channel, you just use the second link that I mentioned. I put both links in the meeting chat, in this Zoom meeting chat. So yeah. So very welcome to the community. You know, feel free to continue to join this meeting. Feel free to continue open issues or ask in the channel. We look forward to your questions and your use cases. Look, I saw you unmuted your mic. Did you want to say something?
You notice it. Well, I was gonna say, so I was just going through the Open Cluster Management Working Group meeting agendas, and currently it's in a table format where you can add related URLs if you want to say something about it. I was just wondering, I was just thinking that if somebody like, if they're more comfortable adding more details on what they want to discuss, um, can they add it here?
Yep, they can add whatever they want in the
So
meeting notes.
yeah, instead of a table format, if you can just say May 12th, 2026, and it's free form underneath that, and just they put like point forms or detailed description of what they want to discuss. I don't know if that might be more flexible for anyone to add their topics. I was just thinking about that. That's why I'm muting my mic, but thanks for
No,
noticing.
that makes sense. I think we should if we don't have a specific topic, or even if we have a specific topic, we can always add, we can always mention, hey, this is a free form discussion or something, and we can maybe in the objective or somewhere in order, and then to bold it what you just mentioned, right? Like even if it's not a agenda item, you can go ahead to come in and talk about anything. Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This basically wraps it up for this week. Anyone have any other comments, questions? Okay, nice that you joined the channel. Yep. Go ahead and ask any questions anytime in that channel. Okay, I'm gonna count to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you all for coming. See you all next time. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
You
Thanks,
too.
bye.